A very good morning to all. Today, we are going to start with a new chapter, chapter number 6, and the name of the chapter is Animals Everywhere. Animals live everywhere on earth, and we can see different kinds of animals around us. And we know that animals are living things, and they need air, water, and food to live. And they move from one place to another in search of their food and water. So where do we all live? We all live in a house. Likewise, animals also have a house or a shelter to live. So the natural home of living things, we call it as habitat. The place which provides them water, food, and the right kind of environment, we call them as habitat. So we know that different animals live in different places. There are animals which live in desert. There are animals which live in mountains. There are animals that live in very cold regions. There are animals which live in grassland. So all these animals have their own features, have some special features that helps them to adapt or survive in this place. So where do these polar bears live? Polar bears live in polar region, right? Very cold place. And what happens if this polar bear is made to live in a grassland? So what is a grassland? Grassland is a land which is covered with full of grass. Can this polar bear survive in the grassland? No, because it is not the right kind of environment for the polar bear to live. And what about cheetah? Where do these cheetahs live? They live in grassland. What happens if they are made to live in a very dense forest? You know what is a forest? A land which is covered with full of trees. It cannot survive. It is not the right kind of environment. So animals needs a place which provides them water, food, and the right kind of environment. We call it as habitat. So what is a habitat? Habitat is a place which provides them food, water, and the right kind of environment. Based on habitat, we can classify animals. We can classify animals as terrestrial animals, aquatic animals, aerial animals, arboreal animals, and amphibians. So let's discuss each of them one by one. So which is the first one? The first one is the terrestrial animals. So terrestrial animals, animals that live on land, we call them as terrestrial animals. There are many examples for animals that live on land. Lion, tiger, camel, all these animals live on land. They live in mountains, they live in very cold places, they live in deserts. So all these are terrestrial animals. And all these terrestrial animals have their own special features that helps them to adapt in this place. These animals have well-developed sense organs. You all know which are the 5 sense organs: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. So these animals have well-developed sense organs that helps them to look for food. So what are terrestrial animals? Animals that live on land. So the next classification of animal based on habitat is the aquatic animals. So you all know what is the meaning of aqua. What is the meaning of aqua? Aqua means water. So animals that live in water, we call them as aquatic animals. They live in ocean, rivers, seas, etc. And even these animals have their own special features that helps them to survive in water. They take in oxygen which is dissolved in water through their gills or through their skin. So animals that live in water, we call them as aquatic animals. They cannot live on land because they have their features that are helpful for them to survive in water. The next classification of animals based on habitat is the aerial animals. Animals that spend most of their time on flying, we call them as aerial animals. Animals like birds, insects, bats, all these are aerial animals. So animals that spend most of their time on flying, we call them as aerial animals. The next one is the arboreal animals. Animals that spend most of their time on trees, we call them as arboreal animals. Monkeys, squirrels, all these are examples for arboreal animals. And even these animals have their own special features that helps them to live on trees. They have elongated limbs. You know what is the meaning of elongated? Elongated means long. Limbs means hands and legs together. We call them as limbs. And these animals have elongated limbs that helps them to jump from one tree to the another. So animals that spend most of their time on trees, we call them as arboreal animals. And the next one is the amphibians. Animals that live on land as well as in water, we call them as amphibians. Frogs, toads, all these are examples for amphibians. These animals have special features that helps them to survive in both on land as well as in water. So these are the classification of animals based on their habitats. That is the terrestrial animals, aquatic animals, aerial animals, arboreal animals and amphibians. So in this class, we discussed about habitat and we learned what is habitat. So what is habitat? A place which provides them water, food and the right kind of environment, we call them as habitat. And there are different types of habitats. And all animals have their own features that helps them to survive in this place. So I hope you all understood. Let's meet in the next class with a new topic. So till then, thank you.